Today we're diving into the significance of the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow but crucial waterway for global oil trade.
Right? It's often called the world's most important oil transit choke point. Do you know how much oil passes through it daily?
Around 20% of the world's petroleum, if I'm not mistaken. That's huge for such a narrow stretch of water.
Exactly. And what's wild is that it's only about 21 miles wide at its narrowest. Imagine the traffic jam if tankers had horns.
That would be some honking. But jokes aside, why is it so strategically important?
Because countries like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and the UAE all rely on it for their oil exports. If it's blocked, global oil supply takes a hit.
And that would spike oil prices everywhere, right? Like a domino effect across economies.
Yes, even countries far from the region feel the impact. Gas prices can climb overnight.
I read that Iran has sometimes threatened to close the strait. Why would they do that?
Mainly as leverage in disputes, especially with the West. It's a powerful bargaining chip.
But can they really block it? I mean, wouldn't that hurt their own exports too?
Good point. Iran would suffer financially, but sometimes the threat itself is enough to cause panic in markets.
So, it's kind of like holding the remote control to the world's energy supply.
Exactly. And not just oil. Liquefied natural gas also gets shipped through there.
That's a lot riding on a narrow passage. Are there military tensions there?
Definitely. The U.S. Navy and other international forces patrol the area to keep shipping lanes open.
It sounds tense. Has there ever been an actual shutdown?
Not a complete one, but there have been attacks on tankers and incidents causing disruptions.
I imagine insurance for ships crossing the strait must be sky high.
It can be, especially when tensions rise. There was a spike during the 2019 tanker attacks.
So, what keeps the strait open? Is it just military presence?
That, and also international pressure. No one wants a global oil crisis, so there's a lot of incentive to keep things moving.
Are there alternative routes if the strait is blocked?
Some, like pipelines to the Red Sea, but they can't handle the full volume. Most oil still needs to go through the strait.
So it's kind of a bottleneck for the world's energy.
Exactly. That's why it's watched so closely. A single incident can unsettle global markets.
Do you think countries are looking for ways to reduce reliance on the strait?
Absolutely. But building new infrastructure takes years and billions of dollars.
Sounds like the strait will stay vital for a long time. What about the local countries? How do they handle the risks?
They diversify routes when possible and invest in security, but geography limits their options.
I suppose cooperation is key then. But with regional rivalries, that's probably easier said than done.
Right. Politics in the Gulf are complicated, and the strait sits right at the center of it all.
It's fascinating how one narrow waterway can hold so much sway over the global economy.
It really puts into perspective how interconnected everything is. A problem there affects everyone, from Tokyo to New York.
And yet, most people filling up their car probably don't realize their gas passed through the strait.
True. It's almost like a hidden thread in the fabric of daily life.
So, what are the main security concerns right now?
Mainly tensions between Iran and Western countries, piracy risks, and the possibility of accidents in such crowded waters.
Accidents? Like collisions?
Yes. With so many ships passing through such a narrow space, navigation errors can happen.
I wonder how technology is helping. Are there advanced navigation systems in use?
Absolutely. Modern ships use GPS and radar, but human error is still a factor.
Speaking of people, what about the crews? Are they trained for emergencies?
Most are well trained, but in high-risk areas, extra precautions are always taken.
I guess cooperation between navies and commercial shipping is essential.
It is. Regular drills and information sharing help keep things running smoothly.
Have there been any recent close calls?
There have been some standoffs, but thankfully nothing catastrophic. Tensions do flare up from time to time.
It's almost like a high-stakes chess game out there.
Exactly, with a lot of players and very high stakes.
So, looking ahead, do you think the importance of the strait will decrease as the world shifts to renewables?
Possibly, but oil and gas will remain crucial for decades, so the strait's role isn't going away anytime soon.
Makes sense. Energy transitions take time, and the world still depends on fossil fuels.
Right. Until then, the Strait of Hormuz will keep its place as a global energy lifeline.
It's a reminder of how geography can shape history and our daily lives.
Absolutely. Next time someone complains about gas prices, maybe mention the Strait of Hormuz.
That's one way to spice up small talk at the pump.
Or just impress your friends with some energy geopolitics knowledge.
Before we wrap up, here's a question for our listeners. How do you think global energy routes will change in the next 20 years?
Great question. Thanks for tuning in, and keep an eye on the news. Sometimes the world's biggest stories flow through the narrowest straits.